Hi guys, Andrew here from the Franchise Tag Podcast. Fantasy football is only days away now, so I'm here to give you my wide receivers must-starts for week one. First up for me is Chris Olave from the New Orleans Saints going up against the Titans this week. The Saints have had big improvement at quarterback this year, bringing in Derek Carr, which I think only improves the value of Chris Olave, who had a really nice year last year. He has the chance to be a second-year breakout candidate this year, and the Titans is a great game for him to prove this, as they allowed the most yards on deep passes last year, and Olave was the fourth in air yards per target. So this makes us an excellent matchup for Olave, so lock him in for week one. Next up is Tyler Lockett, the Seattle Seahawks, going up against the Rams this week. Last year he had two massive games against the Rams, and I know they've got DK Metcalf, but he's going to be double teamed, he's going to be matched up, and I always find that's always great for Lockett when that happens, because he's very trustworthy, he's good in the red zone. Jackson Smith-Njigba's going to be limited this week. He's carrying the wrist injury, so I think Rumzar is going to play, but not sure how much he's going to be used. So this leaves Lockett to be the main man for fantasy. He's going to get those targets. I think Geno Smith's going to have an absolutely great game against the Rams, who've got a very struggling secondary as well. So this is an excellent matchup for Lockett, so lock him in too. Number 3 is Drake London, the Atlanta Falcons, going up against the Panthers. The Panthers last year gave up the highest percentage of points to wide receivers. And that was especially on wide receivers that lined up on the wide out. This is going to be Drake London for the Falcons going up against them. So if it's the same story as last year, this could be the game to lock him in and get the points. So what to expect from them in their slight little rebuild. Next up, number 4 is Diontae Johnson of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's going up against a very strong defense of the 49ers, but this is fantasy. It's a bit of a different game to what the outcome of the actual NFL might be. I think Diontae Johnson is probably one of the most underrated players this year at the wide receiver position. His problem last year was getting touchdowns. His problem was never the targets that he was getting. And I think Kenny Pickett, with a year under his belt, is only going to have improved for his second year. So for me, when I'm looking at fantasy, I always look at wide receivers that are going to get the targets, because he's got the potential then to get the points. And that's Diontae Johnson. He's going to get the targets in any league that's PPR as well. I think it might be a bit controversial, but we're not after the top 10 wide receivers that we all know are going to be great. We're looking for those hidden gems that might be lingering on your bench, maybe for flexes. So Diontae Johnson for me is a start for week 1. Now my 5th one, I was really struggling with what to choose here, so I've gone slightly different for you. If you are looking for an option in that flex point, or you are looking for a wide receiver too, because you're slightly unsure if you're in a bigger league, I've come up with some points of which 3 teams I think have really struggling secondaries this year, and that was the Cardinals, the Raiders, and the Jags for me. I think I've got lots of question marks over those 3 secondaries. So let's take a look at which guys I think might be able to capitalize in here, and that's Jahan Dotson going up against the Cardinals for the Washington Commanders. I think that's a really good matchup. He finished the year very strong. Looked like he's going to make improvements this year. Now, I'm really shocked Freddie will like this one. It's Courtland Sutton against the Raiders. Judy is injured, so there's a chance for someone to step up. It's going to be Mims or Sutton. And Sutton, for me, has been there and done it. And I don't think he needs to do loads against that secondary to have a really good game. And we're expecting better things from Russell Wilson this season. So I think that's a great option. And my last one, going up against the Jags secondary. I think week 1 is a good week to lock someone in for the Colts, because we're not entirely sure. We haven't got a lot of tape of what Anthony Richardson going to do. So this could be the week that it works. And against that secondary, I'm not sure about. So I think Pittman, of the options of those wide receivers at the Colts, is the right choice here. So hope that helps, guys. Fingers crossed for week 1.